Andre, it's
Good to see
really
you,
nice
man.
to.
Who you got in the back? What superhero is that? First and
Uh,
foremost, I'm a comic geek, so who's that?
so right here on my right, I have obviously Wonder Woman by
All
it's a lithograph by Alex Ross. He is
right. Nice.
fantastic artwork. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Mr. Miracle right here.
Absolutely, Mr.
One of
Mirror.
my favorite artists, Jason Fabok, and right behind me I have an original print from the comic book Teen Titans #1. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, some nice little pieces back there
Nice,
for you to
brother.
look
Nice,
at.
nice. I feel like it's Sal's Pizza. I'm like, where the brothers on the wall, man? Where the brothers on the wall, baby?
You know what? You know what I do actually. One of my favorite superheroes and favorite voices in comics right now is Black Lightning.
Okay.
Jefferson Pierce and what he does for schools, what he does for kids, and what even like Ridley Scott
Yeah.
did for him. Just love it. Really, really
Oh,
good. We're gonna talk about you though, Andre. Thank you. I appreciate the love though.
all right.
So season 2 of Truth Be Told, how was that for you?
It was great, man. It was fantastic because it came, at the tail end of the craziness that is 2020 and COVID. So it was good to be back on set, and it was an all-star cast of just really talented black folk that I was surrounded by, and it felt like I was, back home. Me and Mekhi Phifer. I knew him from Shaft, which was my first movie, and he was in that. So we were talking then. And Cephas Jones, I know from New York. So it just felt like I was back in New York, and, bumping into friends on the neighborhood. So it was good to be back at work and around, great folks.
Tell me, how hard is it to be Poppy's lawyer?
It's hard only because it's a fine line. She's very stubborn, and she's also the daughter of like my mentor. Shreve is like somebody I look up to. He paid for me to go to college, so I know I can go but so far. Like normal clients, I would curse him out. I'd be like, "Yo, you gotta listen to what I'm saying," but I can't relate with his daughter. So I gotta find a way to get what I need from her, but being very, very respectful, because you don't want to be disrespectful to Shreve's daughter. It won't end well for you, as you already know.
I didn't even think about that little tiny aspect right there. Yeah, because yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have a very, very strong personality. Tell
yeah.
me a little bit about Demetrius and where you found his voice.
Demetrius, I found his voice. For me, being an actor, you always feel like you want to find some nuances or some newness in a character, and you have a responsibility as a black person to make sure that we show all different ranges of who we are in the spectrum, and to be a motorcycle gang. We haven't seen that really in the black community, but we know. The crew know it exists, but to be on television, a black motorcycle gang and Demetrius, I find him to be like a little microdoser in the mushroom world. We don't see that. And I just wanted to make sure that he's just very eclectic. He doesn't, he follows his own path. And that's how I was growing up in the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx, and I was into different things. My favorite group was Hall and Oates, Tears for Fears. So I got teased a lot. So I wanted to make sure Demetrius is confident. He's confident in being different.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Not a lot of people know about that. I know about that because I'm actually from Oakland, and so
Okay,
I have that advantage. And it's a really cool part of the culture of
that's right.
people of groups riding around, music playing really loud too. They always put boom boxes and things and
That's right.
modify their bikes to really stand out.
Yeah.
What kind of research did you do to get into your role?
Well, I have a couple of I ran into a couple of black motorcycle cats in LA, and they were talking about the motorcycle culture in the Bay,
Hmm.
and I think that I forgot the name of the book. There was a book about the first motorcycle gang, black motorcycle gang that I was reading, and for me, I just got to get on set and feel the vibe of the other actors. And again, like I said, I wanted to come across different. I felt like there's a lot of weight on the show, and I wanted to be a little, Demetrius or Mitri, as they call me. You know, everything is a grain of salt. Everything can be brushed off the shoulder. Everything can be fixed. That's his mindset. Everything can be fixed. So I don't really stress on it. Demetrius doesn't really stress. He just finds a way or angle to get it done. So I just had to stay loose and find my way, because I came in, I think, episode 5. So I come in, and you kind of don't know his backstory. All you know is that he has the confidence to wear a leather vest with no shirt on. Okay, now I'm in rare air. There's Lenny Kravitz and there's Demetrius. Those are the only 2 black people that pulled off a leather vest with no shirt on. So
That's
that's that. Once I put that leather vest on with no shirt, Demetrius was found.
that was one of the funny lines you had. It's like, haha, I own 2 shirts.
That's right, exactly.
That was
So
great.
yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
as an actor, playing different characters from different worlds obviously opens up different points of views. What would you say you've learned personally from your character?
Um, what I learned from Mitri was it's okay to be different. It's okay to follow your own path. I think, growing up, you always felt like you had to conform because you didn't want to get bullied, you didn't want to get teased, you had to conform or play the part of, the cool kid. And so with Mitri, once again, when I'm in my trailer and they tell you that, you're wearing a leather vest with no shirt on, you better be ready. You gotta wear it like you mean it. It can't wear you. So I just felt a certain freedom with Demetrius, especially since he's an educated lawman. That's another thing that you don't really see that much on television. A casual, rebel that understands the law. So I just found from Demetrius, it's okay to be different. That's what I learned from Demetrius, and you know it was good to step into that, because I think nowadays it's really hard to find yourself with everything. Everything with social media, everything is being what you call it. Everything is being picked upon or attacked. So I think to be yourself and to be confident in being yourself, it takes a little courage.
How important are characters, African American characters, and truth be told, for representation to be able to show that you have a wide array of options of who you can be and still be yourself and not have to particularly stick to a mold?
Yeah, listen. I mean, we know it's important. I mean, we've been talking about it, for a long time. All we wanted was, we wanted to be represented on screen the way we feel that we are in real life. And in real life, we know that there are many different shades, there are many different colors, and there are many different personalities within the black culture. And for a long time, we were just looked at it in certain boxes, like the thug or the rapper, the athlete. Period. Now, it's we want to make sure that everybody outside in the real world feels like they have a voice, feels like they are represented, because nobody wants to feel like strange or alone. And when you turn on the TV, and when you look at magazines, or when you listen to music, you want somebody to be speaking from your point of view
Mm.
or from your perception. It just makes you feel stronger and confident, in life. So I think that's every artist responsibility.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way with Latina representation too. We're often
That's the next wave. I'm Afro-Cuban. My dad's Cuban, and that's the next wave. And I think every minority out there looks to Hollywood for lack of a better word, to find out where they fit in, and if they're being talked to, if they're being addressed, if they're being respected as part of the spectrum of audience and buyers. We want to make sure that we know that we're not just being pushed aside or kept on the sidelines.
absolutely, and that gets me really excited. You're not the first person to tell me, "Hey, that wave is coming."
It has to. I mean, it's weird, because if you look at the Latin American culture in Hollywood, the hard part about it is the Latin community. We like the black community. We were like there's light skin and there's dark skin, and we got to battle that. In the Latin community, you got Dominican, you got Mexican, you got Spanish, you got I'm Cuban, you got Puerto Rican. So a Cuban person, you call him a Puerto Rican, you got issues. You go to
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, Dominican, you got issues. So
Mhm.
we got to find a way for the Latin community to embrace all of us as a whole before we start singling out different storylines. Because right now we just got to come together like with Crazy Rich Asian. It was a great movie, but I didn't hear any Asian going, "Hey, wait a minute, ain't that many dollars?" You know, it's just the Koreans didn't argue about the Japanese. Like you just got to come in as a culture and support.
Yeah, that's the key word right there, support.
Support.
Absolutely. Andre, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. It was
Make me
really
sound
nice.
good, man. It's early in the morning, so make me sound, stringing along and making me sound very
Right here too.
educated. So
It's
my mama don't
6:30 right
forget.
now. It's 6:30 right now here for me too. So yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate you getting up early for me. I'll do the same for you anytime.
All right, brother. Take
All
care.
right, take care.